Welcome Capricorn to Finally Found Tarot 1111. Today we're going to do your weekly reading. This is going to be from the 24th to the 1st. This will be for the Sun, Moon, and Rising and Venus signs Capricorn. Please take the messages that resonate with you, claim them for yourself, toss the universe what does not. It's not meant for you, and that's okay. Check out the Moon, Rising, and Venus placements and the videos that correspond with that to get some more intuitive guidance if you don't find it here. Remember, time and energy is fluid, so whenever you're directed to this video is the right time for you. That being said, I am going to use the same bowl here. As I do so, I ask you to balance your energies, set your intentions, and take a deep breath in. Exhale whenever you feel so inclined to do so. That's going to help balance and set your intentions, okay? If you're new or returning to the channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have all of you. Thank you so much for your likes, shares, and subscriptions. It means so much to me to see the channel grow. And Capricorn, you rocked the love videos last week. That's why you're up this week first. So thank you so much for your support. All right, Capricorn, let's get started. Peace, love, health, wealth. So coming into the reading, I had this, as I was meditating on your cards, I felt like there was a real strong, acknowledging of that all relationships have peaks and valleys. And I wasn't really understanding like peaks and valleys. Like I kept seeing like peaks and valleys on a roof, and I was like, well, I guess relationships could be applied to in terms of thinking that. But ups and downs, essentially, the peaks where things seem to be great, and then the valleys when things seem to be low. So we're probably going through a little bit of a, with a full moon just coming in, Mercury in retrograde right now, I think we've got a strong sense of revisiting the past emotions here. Now, the first card out here for you is your peaceful resolution, okay? Now, to me, I feel like this is exactly what it says. There's going to be a peaceful resolution in regards to some sort of relationship, whether it be family, friends, or a lover, some sort of dynamic that's been, ruffling your feathers, or you've been ruffling theirs for some time, and there's going to be a peaceful resolution to this that's going to cause both parties to, feel like it's been resolved, and a closing of that chapter, whether it be love, or family issues here. Now, coming in, I did skip the life message card, so we're going to go back to that. It does say here, I reap what I sow. Now, if you can see the picture there. Okay, it says, today I remember that all I think and all I do will come back to me in some way. I understand that I reap the fruits of what I sow and fill my life with thoughts and deeds of abundance, light, and love. I sow these seeds knowing I will harvest the greatest of riches. So be mindful of what you're sowing and the seeds that you're planting now, because they're going to be, coming to fruition, essentially. So pay attention to those. We have in the near future, okay? So in the near future, I feel like this is going to be that peaceful resolution coming for you as well. But I feel like in the near future, you're going to start to get some answers, some clarity. You're going to start to see that you are supported and start to see your path forward, Capricorn. I think in some ways you come to this understanding that your relationships are going to have highs and lows, and not everything is going to be glorious, not everything is going to be perfect all the time. But that doesn't necessarily mean the relationship is bad and then it's time to bail. In any terms, right? So then we have romance. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely in regards to romance, because I feel like you've been struggling with, do I walk away? Do I stay? What do I do here? Your ultimate path is, been very unclear because you haven't been able to figure out your destination. And I feel like you're starting to see the destination. You're starting to see that maybe you have multiple paths. You're starting to do the pros and cons, which is better, which is worse, and you're starting to act on those choices and go down those paths, right? Now we have a no energy, so something isn't right for you right now, Capricorn. So maybe in path 1 or 2, you're going to start to see one's a no energy, and it's going to become clear that it's a no energy. Or maybe in the recent past, it hadn't been so clear. There was still, in your mind, a plausible option of path 1 and 2, or person 1 or 2, or job 1 and 2, whatever it fits. But and now you're starting to see, okay, essentially one of these options has sort of weighed itself out. It's taken itself out of the game in terms of a decision for you. And then you have the recovery here, because there's going to be a little bit of, it's going to end in a way that isn't so beneficial. I feel like, Capricorn, you're going to have this experiment where you're going to feel like, okay, maybe you're going to choose path 1 or 2. And then for the first little while on whatever path you choose, it might not go as great and glorious as you had hoped. And then you start to go, oh shit, did I make the wrong choice? Maybe you start to backstep and try to recant your steps, and maybe you even try to go down path 2. Don't do that. Stick your term, I feel like. Stick your path. Your path is, you are on the right path. You're recovering from that time of heartache. And it's, nothing that you started new is going to come easy. And if it comes easy, it's not meant for you. It's not worth it, right? The struggle is where it's real. The struggle is when you make it through the fight and you get to the top, then everything, those accomplishments are going to feel so much better for you because you worked your ass off to get there, and your mistakes and your trials and your tribulations on the way up. There you have it. Success. Exactly. So you're recovering and you're going to be successful. You're going to have the success you want. Whatever path you have is going to take a little bit of time to get there, and it's going to be bumpy, and you're going to come out of it a little bit bruised up, but the path that you were on didn't come up any better. You probably came out with some stitches and some broken bones. So you know what I'm saying? You have to be willing to accept the bumps and the bruises to get to the success. And very rarely is anybody just handed success on a silver platter. And even when you are, you're more than likely to fuck it up twice as bad. And now you have the 7 of Cups here. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Okay, Capricorn? The 7 of Cups upright is for me definitely an indicator that there's all the glitters isn't gold, essentially, there's illusions. Nothing is what it seems here, okay? So caution's definitely being urged in the face of making a decision, and patience is going to prevail, as you kind of observe closely what there is to offer in some ways. But I feel like, in situations, you could feel like you're being forced to make a decision, Capricorn. Like I said, path 1 or 2, and now, one, you're being forced, right? Something is going to come up that's going to make one option not available to you if you don't quickly decide. So, often it could be between 2 people in a relationship or paths within your career here. Whatever the case, this is advising you take the time you need to make this well-informed decision, or else face that terrible mistake in the end, okay? So then we have Temperance, Sagittarius energy. It is reversed, so this is an imbalance in your life. This is the imbalance because you can't figure out which path to go down. You're struggling. You're going back and forth. And I feel like you get to, sometimes we're like, yes, this is yes energy. Then you're like, no. And then you backtrack. It's because you're not allowing yourself to feel really what you're meant to feel, or you're not allowing yourself to feel into the circumstance. You just keep running from it whenever it seems a little bit not so good, right? So this could reflect on a person maybe has too many things on their plate right now as well. So trying to desperately balance everything out. That could be you. I feel like you're really trying to balance these energies of maybe 2 people, 2 work options, or trying to balance the 2 until you decide which one's going to work out. That's only going to burn you out in any case, whether it be work or relationships, friendships. Don't be trying to keep both things going for too long. It's going to burn out, and you could possibly lose both in trying to do so. This is also burdening yourself, or somebody's burdening you, I feel like, at this time, with their dilemmas. I feel like they're constantly coming at you with their emotions and their dilemmas, and it's a constant roller coaster ride, and you're like, you know what? I'm on my own ride. I don't need this shit right now. and you need to just distance yourself from that, because you don't need it right now. You got your own stuff to deal with, your own healing venture, and while you're going through it, you're less likely to be able to help somebody else through their journey, okay? 7 of Wands, now that's your second 7 out. Now this is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn. So this 7 of Wands here, yeah, I feel like with this, it is upright energy, but I feel like you're fighting to the end. You're gaining that strength, you're gaining that courage, you're standing up for yourself and your beliefs, and the fighting spirit's becoming alive within you. But right now I feel like there is no task that is too hard to manage and no situation too daunting to handle, but don't continue trying to flow in that energy. You have to push back. You have to accept that you can't run full throttle all the time, no matter how good you feel in the temporary moment. You're going to have to take some time out to just withdraw, right? And see, there is resilience here, and it's going to overcome your hurdles, but you need to draw from the personal strengths and resources around you to do so, okay? Now we have the Knight of Pentacles here. So Capricorn, you're finally in your element. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. This Knight of Pentacles, Yeah, I guess it could be. I feel like for you here, it's a little bit of, you're assured about yourself. Like I said, you're hardworking and patient in some way. You're determined to go forward, but you're like the proverbial workhorse. I feel like, in some way, you're very determined to achieve your goals no matter what the cost here. And sometimes that's going to be like bulldozing anybody in between, and you might not be feeling the sensitivity or the emotions of that. You're just determined, and you're just full throttle, not paying attention to the people that you're taking over. So be mindful of that. This is urging you also as well to begin saving for the future. I feel like in some regards, set some attainable goals. Maybe a 1 year, 5 year, 3 year, 5 year plan is going to be beneficial for you. And now we have the 9 of Swords here. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. That 9 of Swords is a little bit cold cutting, right? It's a little bit, it doesn't feel so good when the 9 of Swords comes around. And I think that for you, if you're the one giving the 9 of Swords, it's because you've been suffering from some, fear and mental anguish, fear and stress, and you may be having a little bit of nightmares for some of you as well. But this is that energy where you're just like, okay, these hours that I've spent worrying about the situation and stressing over the things isn't really getting me anywhere. But it's taking over my mental well-being. So I need to, take this anxious energy and stop living in the fear of the unknown, okay? And stop embodying these painful relationships that are riddled with mind games and, maybe these horrible workmates and neighbors who are kind of like taunting you. This is anything that's belittling you, not serving you for good or higher purpose. You're chucking it in the bucket and you're moving it on. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to just let it go, because there is a time and a place for everything, and this time and place is done. Now you have meditate and contemplate. This is new moon in Pisces energy here. So this is water element, Pisces obviously. So this new moon in Pisces, especially since we just Mercury's in retrograde, this is going to be a very emotional time for you. This is speaking of kind of your head being in the clouds a little bit. So, but you have to, head in the clouds and a little bit of an altered state, I feel like, for some of you. There's confusion and disappointment here. If that's what you had and that's what you're expecting, you're going to create it, right? You're going to keep manifesting it. However, if you're, thinking about a good thing, manifesting your new thoughts and your new thought patterns, that's when, positive energy is going to come. This is like that wet and watery emotional energy that comes with Pisces, so be mindful of that as well. But the new moon in Pisces could also suggest that this is a last-ditch chance to make your dreams come true here. There's something coming up, and this is your one and only chance to calm your energies and go after it, okay? Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius, exactly what I mean. So we just had a full moon, and this is you stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. What it is, things are for what they are. Maybe you've been in an illusion, not seeing things for what they are for some time. For whatever reason, and maybe you're thinking too much about the details of your dilemma and not about the bigger picture, like I said. So this is a reminder. It's a good thing, to think things through, obviously. Sometimes you need to kind of step back and look at the bigger picture. And what do you then see about the current situation, right? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't exactly know what they are or what you want at this time, okay? This is a reminder that we often have to take a few risks to go, go with some uncertainty in our life, right? Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best here. The universe could surprise you, okay? Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much, which is, I can personally attain that's not easy. So nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon here. So this energy is like free will. You have the ability to change it. Nothing is set in stone. Like I said, there's choices between two paths. So you have time to make this decision, but I would definitely say that you should be doing it quite quickly. Because mutable is about change, right? So shape-shifting, even that something is still developing, like I said. So this is indicating that something is indeed changing. There's a room for a maneuver here, so take it as a sign that the situation that you're inquiring about is far from being finalized here, I feel like, okay? If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's great, because you can still change the course of the outcome, right? So, however, there's also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable as well. So for this, for some, that's going to be great news as well, because you can still influence it. Others are going to struggle with this uncertainty, but, should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is set in stone, okay? The best is going to unfold for you in divine timing. So just stay adaptable. That's the key to success right now. Don't be led astray with any foolish, notions here either, but just stick your course, right? Now we have full moon in Aries. A fiery climax is approaching here. So Aries is a little bit about that me energy. So if you've been kind of going through it, we all go through it, no judgment here. But if you've been doing that, there's going to be a tug of war a little bit between your wants and someone else's wants, okay? You're going to see what happens next. But if you've been handling the situation maybe as sensitively as you should, or it could have been, but if you know deep down that you've been a little bit harsh or a little bit of an ass, or, whatever it is, you've gone too fast, or maybe you've overstepped the mark here, then accept that on some level you created the situation yourself, Capricorn, which also means, good news, you can fix it, right? So this comes up to something is going to come up to a peak. Whatever it was, those emotional, that is going to come to head this time. You're going to have a little bit of a tension release as well. But if you're feeling tense, try to calm and meditate your energy prior to letting it explode. So just pay attention to your energies if you're going to try to prevent that from happening, okay? And if not, well, then just let her buck, right? So we have 26, Flamingo Spirit, embrace the in-between, and this is in reverse. So this in reverse is coming in a form of a protection message for you. Now, this is kind of, I feel like if you've been feeling a little bit wobbly, like I said, those two paths, if you've been feeling nervous, stop worrying about the past or the future here. Instead, be present in the moment, right? Balancing, for now, is the space in which, creativity is going to arise, and clarity as well for you, okay? It's your birthright, but if you're moving too quickly in an attempt to avoid the discomfort of transition here, you can blind yourself to the miraculous possibilities that are before you and the ones that are coming into being, right? The past has its blessings and planning has its merits, Capricorn. But right now, you might be imbalanced because you're becoming too nostalgic for what once was, or too anxious about what the future has to hold for you, okay? There's a time to plan carefully, but for now, just be still. Spirit's with you, co-creating it with you in this moment, but the next step is going to appear when it needs to appear. Relax into that state of, balance, okay? And so any anxiety can kind of transmute into trust and faith. That all will be as for the highest good, because it will. No matter how much worrying you do, it's not going to change the outcome. 56, Spider Spirit, make your dreams come true. This is upright. So this is exactly that. Only you can make your, dreams come true, but you have to take those steps one step at a time to them, and then Spirit will take 10 steps towards you, right? So, like I said, that power of co-creation where, you work with Spirit, Spirit works with you, and that web of creation has that uncanny, way of coming together to weave that beautiful pattern that you're setting in motion, the reaping what you sow, like within the original message at the start. So now is a time when inspiration wants to be channeled through you as something creative, maybe even artistic and tangible, but creative projects are successful for you if you're inclined to do so. So let yourself be open to abundance, maybe a new way of earning money here. Now we have Badger Spirit, be fearless and bold, Capricorn. This is upright. So yes, be fearless, be bold, appreciate who you are and everything that you work through, okay? What you seek, your tenacity and your faith in this partnership with Spirit is starting to pay off, okay? The results are going to, coalesce into form, and a surety that taking a risk here now is going to benefit. Being courageous, fearless, and bold is going to give you great results here. The time to harness your will and apply it consistently to the pursuit about your dreams. Know that no matter the temporary outer conditions, you're going to manifest your desires in divine timing. You have what it takes to get what you want. So be assertive, be yourself, be fearless, be bold. New relationships here are also given a green light right now. Don't be afraid to make the first move, okay? This is loving your brave, mighty heart. and expressing, what do you got to lose? Nothing, right? You're already come from the hardships and heartaches, so what do you got to lose now? Now you have, what do you really want? Yeah, what do you really want? Have you thought about that? That's what's preventing you from making these choices, because you're struggling. I don't think in some ways you know what you really want, because you haven't sat down to think about it truly. In some ways, some days you think this is what you want, some days is what you think this is what you want. It's really, dependent on mood, I feel like. This is finding clarity and purpose here, uncovering why you do what you do, right? Defining your trajectories, okay? Really beyond the parameters of what's possible and what's likely, and beyond any, constraints of time and money. What do you really want, regardless of your current situation and regardless of what you wanted yesterday? What's that big sacred dream that you want right now? Think about it, truly, and figure out how the little things you can do right now to start getting there, right? The journey, your spiritual and creative trajectory on, it's time to ensure that you're enjoying it. That all the efforts along the way are paying off, okay? Be mindful that you're not toiling away at a tiny, superficial, or safe version of yourself, okay? That could never bring your soul the true joy that it desires, okay? Be mindful about spending energy building something that was never going to be enough, okay? Instead, define what success means to you, and know that you're going to feel when you reached your goal and what you truly desire. Only by clearly defining it can you finally see the path that's going to take you there. Like last week, this is coming to the message of last week, you can only arrive at your destination when you pinpoint where you're going, right? Cut the cords of doubt. Right. Cut the cords of doubt. You can do it. You can. But you're the only person that's telling yourself you can. So, you can keep doing that, or you can actually do something about it. Doubt can taint the most beautiful of circumstances and change a trajectory by keeping it kind of unnaturally constrained, right? It can be the incessant, tether, and it might be getting in the way of something you have been thinking about doing, and it is. So this is, a sign to take that risk, okay? Your desire, your essence, this is like the phoenix, essentially, being born, rising from the old constraints, the ashes, like an angel's rising up to the heavens, essentially. So when you and your anchors here are unbound by the gravity of fear, you're going to easily see which shackles or habits or beliefs need to be released, okay? And what is weighing you down, okay? It's time to let go and release sadness, anger, guilt or shame, and exhale any doubt and inhale that love from you, okay? So spread your wings, glide home, essentially, because the whole of the universe is supporting the radiant rising like that phoenix, okay? Release that old energy of doubt, okay? You're going to get the bird's eye view of the shackles that are holding you back at this time, okay? Now, we have your sacred destiny message this week is wonders, because you have the ability to create all the wonders in the world for you, my dears. You just got to get out there and express them and see them and embrace them. I think for sometimes you've been eyes wide shut, essentially. And just around that corner, when you open your eyes, are those exciting possibilities. They're abounding in your life. So sometimes they won't be apparent right now, because nevertheless, they are there, okay? The more you see them, the more you embrace them, the more possibilities will grow, okay? So don't limit the way you think that events are going to happen in your life. Be open. If you believe anything and everything is possible, then perhaps it will be, okay? Wind activation, my dear. You got to activate your soul calling, okay? You have to let go of the hurts and that are holding you back, okay? You do, because it's not serving you any purpose. That lethargic feeling that you feel as a result of that lack of activation. In other words, something that is stirring your senses. This could be anything from going outdoors, inhaling different aromas. It could be finding pleasure in a warm bath. Whatever it is, you got to find something that's going to activate those senses for you. Now is the time for action. So engage in some activity. Be fully present so that you can forget about your surroundings and enter into that timeless, multi-dimensional experience of union, right? And this is going to definitely require you to be present and possible in your energy all the time. You're going to miss things if you're not, okay? Your sacred rebel message is what is already with you, 17, okay? So as you can see, butterflies, there's hands releasing all those butterflies because you're transforming, like I said, at that Phoenix rising. This is just a different form of it. You know, this oracle is coming with special guidance. You know, you're more than ready than you think you are, Capricorn. You're more prepared than you realize. You don't need an entire army of resources to move you ahead. Although you kind of could find that when you do move, many resources suddenly become apparent, okay? All that you need in this moment is just one sweet act of nourishment, okay? That is enough to take you out of backwards nostalgia or regret and forwards into what is willing and awaiting for you now. Be brave and enjoy this sweet surrender. Reap what you sow. Until next time, my friends, namaste.